What's up, YouTube subscribers, social media? Listen, welcome to this channel. I thank you so much for rocking out with me. Thank you for those of you that are watching the videos, being a part of this channel, a part of this community, as we continue to grow in life, love, marriage, ministry, and money, and also realize that we are a product of God's grace and mercy when we learn to see ourselves through God's eyes and not people. This is a channel where I share principles and I also bring people on sometimes excited about a new upcoming thing that I'm getting out this month that will be coming out really soon. And just sharing different things with other people, collaborating and cultivating with other people. But also, I share principles on how to grow and give you principles and tools that will be able to allow you to see yourself different, but most of all, to be able to grow and glow and thrive into your divine destiny. So I pray that's what you've been doing on these videos that I share. But most of all, as we continue to grow together, as I always say, I am you and you are me. We are growing together. Today's topic I want to talk about, it's going to be kind of sticky, but definitely needed. I will be sharing something else that me and my husband did a couple of weeks ago. But I want to talk today about leadership. This is the month of Pastors Appreciation Month. Yes. The other thing is women in ministry. I'm going to come back and talk about women later, but today I'm going to talk about pastor wives and appreciation for pastor wives and the importance of leadership. And so I want to talk about that. So grab your pen, piece of paper. Let's get ready to rock out. Here we go. My name is Tonya Harden, aka Pastor T of the New Destiny Fellowship Church. Here's the thing with leadership, and particularly pastor wives. I have been a pastor's wife for over 13 years now, a minister's wife. So altogether 20 years of doing ministry alongside my husband. And one thing that I found out that I did not realize until a couple of years ago, the importance of leadership. And I also learned after reading a book, I'm forever share this, reading a book, the name Shack. The book, The Shack, is also a movie, but the book is better. But reading that book, The Shack, made me realize that there were some areas that I was messing up in leadership. Yeah, like I made some mistakes in leadership. I always tell people I am you and you are me. I made that state. I came up with that because I read it somewhere, but I also realized that I'm just like the person that's watching this video, you that's watching this video, you're just like me. We've all been through some things, we've all experienced some things, and we are all continuing to grow. So this is what I found out in my moment of growing in leadership, that there was some mistakes that I made. There was some things that I had done, but there was also a lot of growing moments. And so I want to share some things about leadership. Okay. This is almost like a segue or part two to my spiritual mother. So it might be a little tight. If you've never watched the video, one of my most watched videos is what is a spiritual mother. So this leadership is kind of on the same lines. I got to come back and do a part two because I'm different than when I posted that video. Learned a lot of great things along the way. I will be sharing something about that. Yeah, that just dropped in my spirit. I will be doing a part two to that. But this is like a segue, a little touch of that when it comes to leadership. Here's the thing I found about leadership, that leadership is a journey. It's like driving a vehicle. You are constantly growing, you are constantly learning, you are constantly, and that's really in every area, from the business to motherhood to friendship to relationships. We should always be growing. And so I learned this along the way, is that there are some things that do happen when it comes to leadership. And I guess someone was to ask me about leadership, I would tell them, go on the journey and learn everything you need to learn. Make every mistake that you need to make, because you're going to learn from that. I would also tell someone to connect with someone that has been doing this leadership thing in your area. If it's not pastor's wife, in another area, business, whatever, always partner or get with someone that has been doing this longer than you. I praise God that I have a spiritual covering where I'm able to reach out to her. She's been doing this, oh my God, I don't know how many years, over 25. I know, over, they're getting ready to celebrate their anniversary, I think, this month. So my thing is that I had to be able to connect with other people that has been doing this longer than me so that I could have the wisdom and the knowledge. Even when I make mistakes and don't even reach out to them, I had to learn that I had to reach out. I had to reach out. There were times that I made the mistake already and I messed up and I had to reach out. So what I found out, I want to say this: what is leadership? Here's the thing. Leadership is one word. I'm going to just use: influence. I don't want to even go into the definition because I don't want this video to be too long, but leadership is influence. Leadership are the ones that have influence over people. This leadership, and I'm going to use this word a whole lot, can be abusive leadership or healthy leadership. I'm sorry, y'all. Can be abusive leadership or healthy leadership. And when you have healthy leadership, that's because they done been in this thing long enough to know that they done made enough mistakes that they don't want to make any more. And abusive leadership, we're going to talk about that. So I'm going to give you kind of different types of leadership. And I'm not saying that my way is right. I'm just telling you what I've learned over the years. Again, been a leader for 20 years. I have been the founder of a ministry for over 11, 12 years. I have also been in business for really 13 years, because church is a business, but been in a profitable business, because you don't make money from the church. The church has to make money, right? But you don't make money. But profitable business within 3 years. And I'm still learning that area. So that ain't the area that I really come to talk about. I really come to talk about the leadership part that I have been in. I have worked in leadership. I have had different things that have happened in leadership. I have been abused in leadership. I'll share those abuses in a minute. And I've also I have caused, ain't no may. I have caused abuse. But I made mistakes, man. I made mistakes in the process. So leadership know that if they cannot influence those around them, then their boundaries shrink. Yeah, most leadership, if you don't have an influence on someone, and this can be good or bad. I know I'm like sharing all the goods, all the cookies, but it's the truth, is that most leaders have influence over other people. They either start acting like you, being like you, doing like you, whatever the case may be. I'll never forget, I would say different words in my church and I hear everybody else say the words in my church, but it was just like, you have influence over people. And here's the part, and here's the place I'm about to take a turn. Brace yourself. You can find yourself when you are in leadership, when you allow, especially women, because we are all in our feelings. Women are fickle. We are up and down. We have moments. We are moody. We have all these things with us. And when we allow people to put us on a pedestal and we stay there, that's when the problem comes. Because you allow your influence of others either to try to control them to do what you want them to do, or you try to get them to do what you need them to do. I think that's pretty much the same thing, but it's the truth, is that we do. Why can I tell you I've been there? Yes, Lord, because you see the vulnerability of others and this is going to be a tight, but right. The vulnerability of others, and you use that against them to gain influence. But this is what I found out, is that how would you know leadership that could be abusive? And this is a tight subject, but yet needed. This is what I found out, that leadership, you will find them twisting words to make themselves look better. Twisting words to make themselves look better. And then you look up later and you was like, that didn't even make sense. They don't even go together. You end up questioning yourself if you heard them correctly, or was that a misinterpretation of what you just heard? Yeah, that's an abuse of leadership, because it doesn't line up with the word of God. It doesn't go with what is right, what your unction say is right, and now it has been twisted. That is a sign of an abusive leader. Okay. Another sign of an abusive leader is when they demand respect instead of earning it. They ain't even been in it long enough to even gain your respect. I tell people all the time, look, pastor leaders, whoever, pastor wives, just because somebody come into your church don't mean they didn't just merit the vision of your church. Come here. Just because somebody come into your church does not mean they married the vision of your church. They just joined the church because they liked it. They probably don't even like you, sugar. And they just wanted to be there. But that respect has to be earned. You got to go through some things. You got to make some falls. You got to make some mistakes. They got to watch you for a minute. They got to date you for a minute. And now they can have an opportunity. Now, y'all know I talk with my hands. I can't help it. Opportunity to kind of see, how do I respect you? You know, how can I get to a point? We have members now that are joining our church and they really don't know us. And because I've been in this a minute, you know, I was, I love you, but just date me for a minute. Get to know me first. I would rather earn my respect with you than I make you respect me. I tell people now, and I don't know if this twisted or what, they be like, "What is your name?" Tonya Harden. How you doing? It's gonna be up to you if you decide to call me Pastor T or Lady T or whatever ever you want to put me in. And this is what I found out, that you're gonna call me to a level of your respect. I have people that call me Pastor T because that's what they look at me as, their pastor, their leader. I have some that call me Lady Harden. They look at me as Lady Harden. It just depends on what people look at you at, and it ain't even about a title. But I let it be known, hi, my name is Tonya Harden. How you doing? Yeah, even at church. I told my husband that the other day. I was like, I didn't find myself saying Tonya Harden because I would rather earn your respect than for you to, but I had to learn it over the years because I tried to make people respect me and make you do this. And man, that's too much work. Don't nobody got time for that. You learn as you go, but that's a sign of abuse when they want you to respect them, but they don't earn your respect. The next kind of abuse is leaders that allow themselves to be held accountable or corrected and bully anyone who disagrees. Leaders that don't allow themselves to be held accountable, do not have a covering, do not have nobody that they can talk to, nobody that they can correct, nobody that can correct them. When a leader cannot allow another person that is been in this thing for a while, that it has wisdom equals experience. Yeah, come on. Wisdom equals experience, that has wisdom, but they can't be held accountable and can't nobody correct them. And they're right around every circle they're in. They are the person that everybody looks up to. Watch out for those kind of leaders. Jesus on the main line. Be careful. That's a sign of abuse. One thing about it, everybody know, Lady Woodard can correct me. She does it all the time, and it does not feel good. Even Bishop Woodard. I went to my spiritual mother's event the other week, and before that event, she kind of corrected me a little bit, letting me know some things that I should do to do better. And I appreciate that, because you need every circle you're in. And why I say that, because I was there. I would be in every circle, and all the circles, I was the one that everybody looked up to. And I didn't want to be around nobody that wanted to correct me. But I had to learn. Listen, you got to be around people that correct you. Last one, because I don't want to stay in here. The last kind of leader, abusive leader, demands servitude instead of wanting to give servitude. Serve me. Take care of me. Make sure I'm good. Here's what I found, and my husband teaches this all the time, is that when it comes down to church, the pyramid is upside down. If you take a pyramid and it's like this, put that upside down. Most people you got the pastor on the top, the other people, the leaders and the ministers, the elders, the deacons, the other people, the co-laborers, and you know what I'm saying? But turn that thing upside down. The pastor is at the bottom. Even though that, it is great, beautiful are the feet of those who save souls. That is all good and dandy, but we should be serving more than anybody. I serve in my church more than anybody, not just in my church, but outside our church as well, because it's not just about the four walls of a church. You learn that as a pastor's wife, as you grow and glow in God, that it is so much bigger than just preaching on Sunday morning, that it is bigger than that. And so you have to learn that you are not the one that needs to be served. And it's okay for people to serve you, but it's what you feel during the time. Is it okay for you to take, okay, Tony, don't get in nobody's church house. Okay, let me leave that alone. So you just got to know, you got to be willing to serve as a leader. Abusive leader wants you to serve them, but they don't serve you. It's not back and forth. All right. So how do you seek out great leadership? Here we go. How do you get to a point to where you know that you have great leadership? Or are you seeking out great leadership? People want to trust the leader that they're following. They want to believe he or she is worthy of their investment of time and effort. How do you know how you're finding it? You want to make sure that your leader is trust no man. I'm gonna say that first. Trust no man. But when it comes down to it, leaders want to know, hey, people want to know, can I invest my time in you and my effort in you so that I could trust you? Also, you will recognize a leader, a great leader, of their values and their skill sets, how they enhance their skill set, how they're willing to grow, how they're willing to go to another level. Last and not least, how do you know a great leader? Because that leader characteristics of God is resting over their life. Their characteristics of God, they may not be perfect, but they have some loyalty in some areas. They have some steadfastness in some areas. They are not giving up on a whole lot. The characteristics of God is there. They don't mind being persecuted. They don't mind going through persecution. They don't mind going through trials and tribulations. And you've seen them stand through the hardest times of that's the kind of leader I follow. Listen, shout out to my bishop and first lady, Gail Woodard, and Bishop L.J. Woodard of the Houston City Cathedral Church in Houston Woodlands, multiple locations, okay? Love them dearly because the steadfastness. They've been married 30 years, man. They've been in ministry over 20 plus years. They've been doing life for a minute. The steadfastness, the unmovable parts. I've seen times things happen, but they stand. I've seen them go through, but they stand. See the characteristics on that leader. Last but not least, I'm done. Leaders must be willing to learn. They must be willing to learn. They must be willing to grow. You got to be a leader. When you're a leader, be willing to learn and grow and learn from your mistakes, learn from your faults, learn from your situations, and continue to keep growing. That's a great leader. My points and what I'm about to say, if you've been following me for a while, you know what I'm about to say. 1, listen to God. As a leader, you got to listen to God. Number 2, you have to learn, be willing to learn, be willing to grow. Number 3, be willing to love God's people without debt. Love. Number 4, listen, learn, love, then you lead. #repeat it all over again. That's for anybody, but I definitely say for a leader. Listen, learn, love, lead. Let's continue to be great leaders. As pastor's wife in this Pastor's Wife Appreciation Month, be great leaders that you're called to be in your business, in your family, whatever. Be great leaders. Next time I'm going to come back and talk about women supporting women. I can't wait. All right. Until next time, stay blessed in all that you do. Go watch the next video. Bye-bye.